and welcome to your messages for the week. Today is Sunday, the 26th of February, 2023. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Deborah Jane Sutton, and you can find out more about me and the things that I do from my website at deborahjanesutton.com or from this YouTube channel. Have a good browse around. Also from my Facebook page, which is also Deborah Jane Sutton. So I'm easy to find. And welcome back if you're coming back again. That card came out when I said that, so maybe that's the message just for those of you that have come back. I don't know. And I really don't know today because usually when I do the messages, I get some kind of, I don't know, some kind of inner feeling as to what topic it might be. And then I sort of think, oh, that's surprising. I was thinking it might be that. Obviously, it's all connected. And today I'm getting nothing like that. So this is going to be very interesting to see what comes up. And stuff is coming up. There's a couple of cards come out already. So 26th of February, we're at the end of February already. If you haven't seen the messages for the month of February, check out the link in the description. And I'll put the video in the end screen for you. So you can check those out. They were all about making more conscious choices. What does that mean? That means basically making choices that are going to expand you into more of who you are rather than contracting. So if you're making a choice because you're afraid of something and you're making a choice to compensate for that, then that's a contracted thought, isn't it? That's a contracted choice. So it's about always taking the expanded one. I hadn't really thought about it like that actually before. But look out this week for the cards for March, because March is coming in this week. So must be Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday, the 1st of March. So I'll be doing monthly reading then. So keep your eyes open for that, or subscribe to the channel and then you'll get notified. I think I'm not quite sure how all of that works. Anyway, I'm getting no more cards coming out, and there's 3 and they're face down. I have no idea. Are you ready? Take a nice inhalation, activate your own intuition, and let's see where it takes us. Oh wow, look at this. We have the strength card. Oh that's beautiful, and that's Major Arcana, Christ consciousness card, and it's coming on the heels of what I've just said about making choices from a place of expansion. And I guess if that was the message for February and we're still in February, I guess it's still the message. But yes, from an expanded state, and making sure that you don't make choices out of fear. So I guess that would apply to, like, I don't know, some people might say, oh, I don't drive that way because there's a big scary roundabout that I have to navigate and I don't like it, so I'm going to drive another way. You know, I make choices to drive another way. Or I'm not going to go to a certain activity because I'm no good at it and I had a bad experience there or something. You know, if you're not doing something out of fear, if you're making choices to compensate for your lack thinking, I want to say, then that's not a divine choice, is it? So this is about mastering yourself. If you have fear of something, like if you have fear of roundabouts, and it's fair enough, and it's interesting thing about fear, especially if we think it's like a phobia or irrational. I always think, well, that must be a past life issue if it's an irrational fear. And with the past life work I do, I often find that it is. But you know, if you take it to the next level, there is no past and there is no future. So it's everything happening in the now. So which makes perfect sense as to why emotions from other lifetimes can affect us in this one, because everything is happening in the now. So that makes a lot more sense. So whether we say other lifetimes rather than past lives, and of course the teachings have always told us that we are the whole universe in one human being, in which case we have the emotions and of all of everything, the all that is. So it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? We don't really need to worry about where the fear comes from, but it is about mastering yourself through love. Because she's mastering the lion through love, not through force, not through disciplining it or hitting it or something like that, and I've said before with this card, you can maybe master a musical instrument if you really love to do it, or you can master dancing if you really love to do it, but it's very difficult to master any art, or any activity if you don't really love it. Then you just have to force yourself. And this is coming back to Dr. David Hawkins' work, Power versus Force. Because when you're in your power, when you're in an expanded state, which is the top part of that chart that I often show, I haven't got it on the screen, but just in case anyone hasn't seen it, means they haven't watched my other videos, but I'm just going to show you. So I should have a copy here somewhere, so that you know what I'm talking about. One moment. This one, I'm talking about this one. Can you see that? Yes. So if you're in an expanded state, this is where our power lies. Our power lies in an expanded state, which is where love is. And of course, a contracted state is where fear lies. So if you want to master something, let's just say, for example, because I used the example of being scared of big roundabouts. And if that was the case, some people would just say, push yourself through the fear. If someone's got a fear of spiders, someone would just say, oh, just stick a spider right in front of them and they've got to overcome that fear. I'm not sure how much that works. But if you, going back to the roundabout, if you were just to love yourself enough to give yourself some time to master little roundabouts in quiet places, and then build yourself up little roundabouts in quiet places, and then get bigger and bigger and bigger. And to just put your consciousness on that fear that comes up. So when you're not on the roundabout and you're meditating in your pyramid of light, or however you meditate, bring back the experience. Bring back that experience to your body, to the cells of your body, so that you can feel that fear that's there. Because it's in the cells of your body, otherwise you can't experience it, right? So you bring it back and then feel into it, really kind of feel into it. I tend to use the breath a lot to do things like this. I think that might be the yogi in me, or it could just be this understanding that, we know from primary school that we inhale oxygen, it goes to every cell of the body, picks up the carbon dioxide, and that we don't need, and we exhale it out. Whereas I like to think, well, the breath is everything. It's your life force. It's who you are. Your human body without your breath is not you. Doesn't have your personality or anything. So you are your breath. So that means you are the love. You are the light. You are the healing. Okay. It's source energy. It's your life force. Okay, force, it's your life force, it's your strength. This is the strength card. And when you inhale all of that, whichever one of those words resonates with you, you can use that, or you can stick to oxygen if you want. But when you inhale all of that, and then when you hold it in and you just focus for a couple of seconds, feeling that breath going to every cell of your body, it's your life force. So therefore you can feel every cell of your body expanding. And then if it's picking up carbon dioxide, it can pick up all sorts of stuff. If it's the light coming in, then obviously darkness has to go, because when you put the light on, the darkness goes, right? So the darkness is coming out. If it's love that you're bringing in, and it's anything that isn't love that's going to go, which would be fear, right? If it's the healing coming in, then obviously it's the trauma that's going. Okay. If it's the expansion that's coming in, it's the contraction that's going. It's up to you how you want to view it. One of those, thoughts might resonate more than another one. But then when you exhale, you're consciously exhaling that fear. You're exhaling it out. And then in your mind's eye, you can visualize yourself going up to that roundabout or seeing that spider or whatever it might be. You can visualize yourself doing it. Put yourself back in that position like you did in the first place to get the feeling to come up. Put yourself back in that position and see how you feel. I'm sure you're going to feel a lot less fear. It's just one of the ways that we can release that fear, acknowledging it, honoring it. We're not pushing it down, and we're certainly not avoiding spiders or avoiding roundabouts. That's the whole point. When you start limiting your lifestyle because of your fears, that's a state of contraction. So this is a technique that I think is powerful. I will put a link in the description and the video in the end screen for my video on breathing, basically the importance of breathing. I think I've called it breathe yourself to greater states of happiness or something like that. I'll put the link in the description anyway. So using the breath can be just really, really powerful because what you're really doing is you're using your level of consciousness. That's what because she's Christ consciousness, you know, and it's like Christ is not actually Jesus's surname, as some people think. It's a level of consciousness, and Jesus had that level of consciousness and taught us lessons so that we could access that level of consciousness as well. So and she's relevant to that. And this is one of the ways that we can release fear by using that level of consciousness. I mean, one of the most common words that Jesus reportedly said was "fear not, fear not." I think fear is in all its shapes and forms is what keeps us in a state of contraction, and our power lies in the love. In rather than avoiding, that's not love, is it? But honoring and loving yourself, not judging yourself, and in meditation, bringing in that love that's in your life force. I've often thought, to me, everyone's definition of yoga is different, but to me, one of my many definitions of yoga is yoga is feeling the love in the breath that you breathe, or yoga is feeling the love in your breath. Yeah, feeling the love in your breath. Yoga is so much more than the asanas. You know that everyone's just living a life of yoga, really. Just inhaling that life force and feeling the love and expansion in it, and light, I want to say, and healing and all of this that's in that breath, and then consciously using it. Hold the breath for a few seconds, making sure it's comfortable. And feel it going into every cell, because you know from biology, if it's going in every cell to get the carbon dioxide, it can go into every cell to get the darkness or to get the fear, you know, or to get whatever other toxicity it is that's asking for your attention and your love at this moment. So this card, all of that from one card, amazing, isn't it? But this card is saying use your strength and your level of consciousness to heal and to tame the lion. Some people feel like they have like a monster inside of them. It's like, I remember years and years and years ago, someone telling me to have hypnosis to stop smoking. And I was so fearful of having hypnosis because I just thought if I wasn't in control, if my human wasn't in control, little did I know that my human wasn't in control anyway, but I didn't know that then. But I just thought if my human wasn't in control, I thought there was just going to be this angry monster that was going to come out that would be uncontrollable. I mean, that was obviously all the pain body, or the, you know, the trapped emotions, or the trauma, or what have you. And of course, it doesn't work like that, because when you do let that monster out, it comes out usually through crying and other ways. But avoiding letting the monster out is not the answer. The answer is taming the monster through love and letting it be expressed through love, not through fear. Okay, next card. Very much an abundant card. The 10 of Pentacles is financial security, but it's really more a reassurance of abundance. If you're new to my channel, you won't know my interpretation of the Pentacles, which is abundance activity related, because I see Pentacles as being your energy and your resources. It could be time and it can be money. In traditional interpretations, of course, it's money and career and finances. But we're kind of moving away from a money dominated, business dominated paradigm into heaven on earth, where we're all, operating from a place of love and doing what we love and sharing our abundance activities, which are bringing us in an abundance of health, happiness, joy, and financial security and stability and all those lovely things. And maybe not oodles and oodles of money, but oodles and oodles of happiness, joy, health, and abundance. Which would you rather have? Uh, this is, look, it's the whole family. You've got the animals, the children, the couple, and the old man. And they're actually in the castle, which the castle in the background in tarot cards represents your goals in life. And I look at this card as they are in that castle, which is their goal in life, whether that be financial security or health, happiness, love, and abundance and security, and all those lovely things. So, and the 10 is obviously a completion. So, and the fact that it's come on after this makes me realize, when you expand into more of who you are and you work with your fears in this way, in this loving way, from a higher level of consciousness, with acknowledgement and honoring, and rather than judging yourself for having a fear. That happens. We judge ourselves for having a fear, don't we? And then we kind of shy away, and we're in that place of contraction. If we can love ourselves and not judge ourselves, it's no problem if you have some fear come up. It's like, okay, I can breathe, I can visualize, I can meditate. If meditation is new for you, then check out my video on how to meditate for beginners. I'll put a link in the description and the video in the end screen. And I do recommend, and I've said this before, about the Pyramid of Light, which is recommended by Sara Landon, and she channels the council, and it's part of the wisdom of the council. But this Pyramid of Light really served me. I visualized myself in a pyramid. And I could be sitting in there. I'm usually sitting on a yoga mat in there. You can invite people in and have conversations with them. If you're having a difficult situation in the physical world with someone, you can be in your pyramid of light in your highest self and invite them in their highest self, and then have the conversation that you want to have with them, from higher self to higher self. So it's coming from a place of love. And then you'll find that in the physical world, on some level, it's going to have an effect. It's amazing. Try it out. But it's not just difficult conversations you can have in there. If you're tuning in, like I've just said, using the breath to pick up fear, do it in your pyramid of light, because the pyramid of light will just amplify the positivity and amplify the healing and the love and the light that you're inhaling. And anything that you're doing in meditation, you can do in the pyramid of light. So I wanted to add that bit on, because I'm not sure whether I mentioned the pyramid of light in my How to Meditate for Beginners video. So if you watch that video, then remember the pyramid of light as well. Because that's a powerful way to meditate. So the fact that this has come on the heels of this makes me think that when you've released these fears, this is why Jesus always said, "Fear not." When you've released these fears, it expands you. It expands you. You go up that chart. This chart that I've shown you. You're willing. You wouldn't be watching this video if you were not willing. So you're at least here in the willingness, but you go up to the level of love, and then you can really change things through the power of love, because it's going to really put you into an expanded state of being. And that's how you can release the fear. That's how you can tame the lion. And then, because you're in an expanded state of consciousness, your reality that you're creating is going to be at that frequency. So everything in your life is going to improve. That's what this card is saying, because you're sitting in the goals of life, and you're going to achieve your goals more readily when you're in that expanded state. You're going to achieve your goals more readily through love. So normally this would be business and pentacles and money and stuff. And most people would say you've got to work really hard for your money and you've got to climb that career ladder and all of that. And I'm not sure that that works. It might do for some people, but a lot of people end up burnt out and not having a love life and not doing what they enjoy. They have the success of the career and they have the money and they don't have the time or the people to spend it with. So it's all a bit pointless, really. But so this is much more about understanding that when you work with your emotions in this way, you raise your frequency. When you raise your frequency, you create a higher frequency reality for yourself. So there's going to be more love, more joy, more peace, more harmony, and all those beautiful things in your reality, including your abundance, because your abundance comes from your frequency. It doesn't come from your hard work or your career, actually, because this is also the inheritance card. So it's just a little reminder that money doesn't always come through work. You know, whether you're enjoying it, whether it's hard work or easy work, it's not the only source of money. There are many other ways that we can save money by spending less. There are different things that can happen in our life that make that happen. But also there can be inheritances and things like that going on, or partnerships that work out and stuff like that, investments and stuff. So this card is basically saying all of that. Let's have a look at the last one. Wow, we have got a transformation. And I think it's massive now. This is like the layers of the onion. We're really getting into that core of who we really are. And I'm experiencing it myself with some fears coming up, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm an emotional energy healer. Should I be feeling this fear? Yeah, of course, because I keep going deeper and deeper into the core of the onion. And so this, fear is just the opposite of love. So until we are completely in a state of enlightenment, we're still going to have a little bit of fear or whatever. It could be any of the other negative emotions, but fear is a general word to describe any of the contracting emotions, any of the emotions in the bottom half of the chart. So, so we're still in a process of releasing it, but how we deal with the fear is going to change depending on our level of consciousness, like I said. So, someone that's living in a place of fear will just keep avoiding things. They'll start limiting their life around their fears. They won't go out into the countryside because they don't want to see a spider, or they won't drive because they don't want to navigate a roundabout, for example. They won't do things out of fear, and they're just really limiting themselves, keeping themselves in that stuck place of suffering and contraction. Whereas at a higher level of consciousness, you're going to deal with it. So you might start willingness, you might start seeing energy healers and finding natural ways to combat fear. There's loads of back remedies and things like that. Loads of different ways of hypnosis and things like that, letting that monster out that I talked about earlier. I didn't actually do it in the end, but it would have been interesting if I had, I think. But anything like that. And then, of course, at a higher level of consciousness, you can use your breath. That's what she's saying. That's why I'm saying, because she's at Christ consciousness level. You can use your breath to acknowledge and honor any emotions coming up and to visualize them and just set that intention. You're creating your own reality, and you get to put the meaning on your reality. So you can do that breathing technique and you put your meaning on it. My meaning is that the fear is released. If your power of intention and your power of belief is that strong, then it will work for you, because this is where the transformation's coming from. So this is the death of the fear, which you can say the death of the pain body, as Eckhart Tolle calls it, the trapped emotions, the limiting beliefs. They are limiting beliefs, aren't they? But also it's ego, anything that isn't of the light. If it's the shadow side, isn't it? And so some people might refer to that as ego as well. Horses are positive movement forward. So I always find this card a bit of a paradox. People get scared of the death card, but now we're in the Great Awakening. We need this card more than ever, because look, he's just walking away from what isn't serving him. And that includes the fear, the ego. There's your new dawn. That's the dawn, the new age of Aquarius. That's the heaven on earth coming up. And he's confidently walking in the right direction, having let go of the fear. He's walking towards navigating a roundabout. He's walking towards the countryside where he can see lots of spiders or whatever it is for you. And he's breathing. Mind you, he's a bit of a skeleton. He looks a little bit physically dead, doesn't he? But that's because that's how it feels when we're in this transformational mode. This card has the greatest capacity for transformation. It really does. And it's come on the heels of these other cards. So this is about tapping in to your highest level of consciousness and dealing with taming the fear, releasing the fear, acknowledging the fear, honoring the fear, feeling the fear, processing the fear, however you want to term it. It's important to do that, because our expansion and our abundance and our life depends on it, because our quality of life, I want to say, if you want to raise yourself up in that chart and expand into higher levels of you, your abundance will improve every time we walk away from something that isn't serving us, every time we exhale fear, every time we exhale fear. We are walking away from something that isn't serving us. This is exciting. So this is for this week. So I'm really interested now to hear March's messages, because, you know, where's he walking to? Where is this transformation taking us? That's the next question, isn't it? There is transformation to be had. And you can't transform if you refuse to navigate the roundabout. So that's what we're doing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it to the end. If you would like a private reading, please get in touch. Link is in the description. I love you all. Have a fantastic week and look out for the messages for March. Bye for now.